Hello and welcome. Thank you for listening. My name is Sarah Baumert. I'm a yoga teacher, Feldenkrais practitioner, and host of the Sarah B. Yoga podcast. The Sarah B. Yoga podcast and my practice, Body Matter, is an interdisciplinary learning space where we explore the many ways that movement can help facilitate body acceptance and awareness, reduce pain and stress, regulate the nervous system, and build strength and ease. My teaching plays with the synthesis of Feldenkrais awareness through movement lessons, traditional yoga asana, creative imagery, breathing exercises, self-massage, and a compassionate mindset to help you feel a greater sense of ease and comfort in yourself. Sarah B. Yoga and Body Matter have a lot of other program offerings. These podcasts are just a taste of my teaching. Each week I teach a range of online classes, including a gentle yoga class, a level 2 class for more advanced students, and Feldenkrais classes with monthly themes, anatomy lessons, and Q&A sessions for more in-depth study. I have 2 new online series offerings for the fall. A Feldenkrais series titled Coming to Your Senses, an exploration of the spaces of the eyes, the mouth, jaw, ears, vocal and breathing apparatus. And my second course, Wakeful Body, the blending of yoga and Feldenkrais on Monday nights. As one student recently described Monday nights, that felt like I just gave myself a massage. So these fall classes will be a continuation of some fan favorite stretching sequences that incorporate bolsters and other props to enhance the poses. There is still plenty of time to join these courses live or via the course recordings. You can find more information about these offerings in the show notes. Okay, on to today's episode. Thank you so much for listening.
So we're going to start in a comfortable seat. Have your blocks nearby. And just bring the hands down to the thighs. Okay, let the eyes close. Okay, so just beginning in a comfortable seat. Let's set an intention today that we will let go and release any sort of busyness or tension that the day has already brought. So you can just clearly state within the mind, I will let go of any busyness, any tension that this day has already brought. And if you want to add anything else to that might be a little bit more personal, go ahead and just stating that for yourself. And then allow your palms to face up. And just feel what that does to the arms, if anything. And you could even slide the hands back slightly so that the elbows are a little bit closer to the waist and the shoulders soften back. Good. Just starting to wake up the spine a little bit, feeling a gentle lift starting at the base of the spine and moving up until you move all the way up into the space of the head and right above the head. Just taking a gentle lift into the air that's right above you. And then in your mind's eye, imagine your rib cage or feel your rib cage. And you can start to feel how it moves, it expands with breath in and kind of softens back towards your center on breath out. You may be thinking of it like a basket rather than a cage. A cage might sound a little bit more hard, so kind of like a soft wicker basket. And then the ribs are clearly there for a reason to really protect some of our vital organs, and one that we'll just do a bit of focus on today is the heart. So, you can imagine the heart as like kind of more of the cartoon kind of heart shape, or you could imagine it a more realistic organ. And then along with that imagining, just kind of feeling, where that is, the very center of you, how does it feel today? Can you wake it up a little bit as you breathe in? Can you feel the sternum, that long bone that's in front of the heart? Can you feel that lift slightly? So we keep the chest very open, kind of like a peacock chest. Okay, let's keep the eyes closed and just take your arms straight out to the side. Turn your palms so that they face up, so the hands will be about shoulder height. And then you can sense that the arms are coming and reaching straight out from this heart space. Now just lift the shoulders up towards the ears. I've shrugged them up nice and high. And as you exhale, drop the shoulders straight down, so the shoulder blades slide down the back. And keep that action of the shoulder blades sliding down as the arms float up. So the palms will face one another, and you can imagine that you have a block right between the hands, and you're gently pushing the palms towards the block. So there's a lot of enthusiasm through the elbows, all the way up into the pinky finger, reach all the way through the fingers. Great. And then in this position, just a slight change of the arms, can you feel the sternum continue to rise? The lifting of the belly moving back and up. And then the head very free, like a little helium balloon floating up. Good. Nice and slowly, just release the arms back to the side so that the hands are shoulder height again. And then open the gaze. Good. Let's take the arms forward so your pinky fingers, or the edges of the hands, will be touching. And on an exhalation, soften the sternum back towards you so you'll round a little bit, moving into a cat-like spine. The chin can drop towards the chest. And on breath in, open the arms back out to the side, and you can take the arms a little bit farther back so maybe the hands move out of your vision, and let the chest lift and the gaze can slightly lift. Good. As you exhale around, take the arms forward, drop the head, and breathe in to open. Good. Exhale, rounding. And one more time like that. Full breath in. And exhale. Good. Then just drop the arms down. Swing the legs over to the side. Come up to hands and knees. So spread the fingers nice and wide. Make sure you have a lot of weight in the thumb and the index finger. And tuck the toes, and let's reach back to downward facing dog. Take a tiny bend of the elbows. Good. Here, imagine a block between your elbows, and you're holding onto that block. So you have a slight action of the arms hugging towards the midline again. And then from there, you can really push into the floor. So you want to connect straight down into the floor with the hands, with the big toe mound. And then imagine a little hot air balloon right at your belly that lifts from that. Very nice, you guys. Let's breathe in, come forward to high plank. Good. Exhale, drop the knees down, and then slowly lower all the way down to your belly. And inhale to small cobra. Imagine there's a loop, a spinning wheel on both shoulders, spinning backwards. Good. Only lift high enough that you can Take your hands off the floor. And once you have the hands hovering, extend the arms back. Interlace the fingers if you're ready for that. Otherwise, just keep your arms right alongside the body. So you can interlace the fingers and reach the hands back for the heels. Continue to feel the sternum shoot forward. Good, you guys. And then exhale, release the hands right underneath the shoulders. Lift up to hands and knees and exhale back, downward facing dog. Great, let's breathe in, lift the heels high. Then as you exhale, walk the feet all the way up to the top of the mat, hanging forward in Uttanasana for a moment. We'll keep the knees a little bit bent so it's more like a child's pose. I like to call this child's pose Uttanasana. So the belly can rest on the thighs. Your feet can be hips distance or maybe even a little wider. Make sure that the feet are truly parallel so the heels don't turn in too much. And really come to a place where you feel like your torso can hang with a lot of freedom. Good, especially if the hamstrings are really tight. This pose it doesn't really feel restorative or therapeutic or calming. So you want to play around with bending your knees if you're going to be holding it for a long time so that you can start to move into some more of those qualities of cooling and calming. Good. So keep whatever bend in the knees you have, and let's inhale up to a flat back. So the crown of the head moves forward. Feel like the head is lifting straight up from the back of the heart, and the collarbones can widen. Good. On exhalation, fold back forward. Take that again, deep breath in, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Make sure that the knees don't lock back. Last time, like that, deep breath in. Exhale to fold. So we'll come all the way up to stand this time. Keep rooting the heels down. Sweep the arms out to the side. The palms flip up. Take the gaze all the way up to the thumbs. And exhale, Tadasana. Good, breathe in, arms sweep out and up. And as you exhale, fold forward. Play around with that bend of the knees. And then inhale, extending through your flat back. As you exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back to high plank. Keeping that spread of the fingers. And then just pause here in high plank. Bend your elbows back, maybe an inch or so. And imagine that block between the elbows, and you're going to give it a squeeze. Good. Make sure your head doesn't drop so the crown of the head moves forward. You have little arrows right at the sides of the neck that are lifting up. Good. Good. And then when you're ready, release to the floor. You can drop the knees or move through a low plank. And inhale, taking small cobra or upward facing dog. Just feel the shoulders rolling back. On exhalation, let's reach back, downward facing dog. Great. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Nice, you guys. Let's inhale, lift the heels high. Gaze forward at the end of your exhalation, step or take a light little hop up to the hands. Good. Fold forward into child's pose Uttanasana, that very relaxed Uttanasana. And keep that amount of bend in your knees and come up to a flat back. Crown of the head moves forward. And exhale, fold back forward. Good. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Feel the side ribs sliding up off the waist as the tail drops. And exhale. Good. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, creasing at the hips, fold forward. Good. Breathe in to lengthen, being very gentle with the backs of the knees. Plant the hands, step or hop back to high plank again. Find that small bend of the elbows. And then hug the elbows towards one another. As you do that, you really want to keep the sternum shooting forward. Good, you guys. Let's exhale right back to downward facing dog. Walk your feet together at the back of the mat. And inhale, sweep the right leg up and back. Keep the right toes facing down. The right heel reaching back. Maybe get 1 more inch of length with that right heel. Really pull it back. Great. Then step the right foot forward right between the hands. And release the back knee to the earth. So pad the back knee up with padding if you need to. Untuck the back toes. So the hips are moving forward. And at the same time that the hips move forward, think about gently pulling the left thigh back. So the left thigh doesn't push down into the front part of the left hip, but it's actually moving in that opposite direction. Then from there, take the arms up. And let's bend the elbows, bring the fingertips right to the back of the head. And so you can gently push the back of the head into the fingertips. Maybe let the head drop back very slightly, and as the head drops back, the chest continues to rise. Good, you guys. Free up the jaw. Great. 1 more breath in here. Then elbows move out to the side. You can move through a cactus-like shape. Bring the hands back to the floor. Extend your back leg. And then pick the right foot up and just keep the right knee in towards the chest. Hover it there. So you're in a one-legged plank. You can take that tiny bend of the elbows if you really want to challenge this position. Good. Try to lift the right knee a little bit higher up in towards the chest. 1 more breath in. And then step right back to high plank. Inhale here. Exhale, back down dog. Good. Grounding the thumb and index finger. Walk the feet together. Really feel the floor with the hands. Push into the floor. Connecting down into the earth. Inhale the left leg up and back. Good. As you exhale, step the left foot forward right between the hands. Back knee will come to the earth. Untuck the toes. Start just with your hands right alongside the front foot, allowing the hips to shift forward and the right thigh to glide back. So you might even feel your right knee start to slide back slightly. Good. Inhale, taking the arms up. And then fingertips can come to the back of the head. Just a gentle touch there. But there's enough support that you can push the head a little bit into the hands. And that might give you kind of a prop to start to lift the chest even more. Good, you guys. Make sure you don't hold the breath up in the chest during these positions. So you're going to still feel the lower ribs expanding, of course the belly expanding. Great, then see if you can keep that opening, that upper back bend as you take the arms out to the side into more of a cactus shape. Then hands come to the floor. Good, extend your right leg long. Pick up the left foot and draw the left knee into the chest and hover there for a moment. Good. Keep pushing into the floor with the hands. 1 more breath in. Exhale, step your left foot back to high plank. Inhale. And this time we'll lower to the earth again. Good. Inhale, small cobra. Release the hands from the floor. Take the hands back behind you. Interlace the fingers. And you can try the opposite interlace. You can switch the thumb that's in front. Start with a little bend of the elbows. Feel the collarbones reaching away from the floor. And then everybody bring your gaze so that it moves right past the tip of your nose. See if that gives you a little bit more length through the back of the neck. So that the focus for the extension is more in the upper back spine. So we have a lot of extension in the neck already. Good, you guys. Gently release. Take your hands right underneath the shoulders. Push back to child's pose. Take the hips back. Let's inhale up to hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Breathe in, heels reach high, the hips keep lifting. Exhale, step or take a light little hop up to the hands. And then bringing the feet so they are hips distance. Bend the knees, track the knees right past the toes, and sweep the arms up, keeping your hips low for Utkatasana. And let it be a little bit more of a kind of a soft, gentle Uttanasana so that you don't get to the pose and then kind of grip all the muscles, because the quads very easily engage in this position. So maybe you let there be a little bounce or a reach through one arm. So there's just a tiny bit of movement so you don't freeze up. Good. And then slowly extend. Coming all the way up. Okay, just release the arms down. Close the eyes for a moment. Take one hand down at the lower belly and one hand at the chest. Feeling the movement of the breath. So since the hands are here at the front of the body, it might be bringing a bit more awareness to the front of the body. See if you could imagine two hands right behind where your actual hands are. So it creates a little bit more of a three-dimensional space. Feeling the space right behind the heart and then behind the belly, where the kidneys, the adrenals are, and sometimes some tight lower back muscles. And you might start to notice a little sway, a little side to side or forward and back, just this small dance that happens constantly to keep us upright. Good. Then gently release your hands down. Open the gaze, bend the knees, and come back to Utkatasana. Staying with that gentle Utkatasana so we don't have to freeze up. And just come down into a little squat and bring your hands down and slowly lower all the way down to your back. Right, extend your arms alongside the body so that they're off the floor, reaching towards your shins. Yeah, arms are off the floor. Good. On a breath in, lift the head and the shoulders. And as you exhale, see if you can lift a little bit more. Back of the ribs start to peel up. And we have the lower back on the floor. Good. Inhale. And exhale, slowly lower. Good. Breathe in and out to relax. And as you start your next inhale, lift the head and the shoulders, taking the arms forward. Exhale, the back of the ribs start to peel up. Good. And then extend your right leg forward. So the right toes will be right at eye level. Make sure the lower back stays on the floor. Breathe in. Good. Breathing out. Place the right foot back down. Slowly lower all the way back down. Inhale and exhale to relax. As you breathe in again, head and shoulders lift. On your exhalation, lift a little higher. Feel the hollowing action in the lower belly. Extend the left leg forward, so see your left toes are right at eye level. And if you can't keep the lower back on the floor, then you can bend your left knee a little bit. See if that helps. Good, let's all place the left foot back to the earth and slowly lower down. Good, palms face up. Let the shoulders relax. Take an inhale and exhale to do nothing. Good, then inhale, head and shoulders reach up. Exhale, lifting a little higher. And so if you are having a little bit of trouble keeping the lower back on the floor with one leg, then you're just going to stay with one leg. Otherwise, taking one leg out and then extending the second leg. So the inner thighs really draw together. Good. And from here, you can see if you can lift all the way up into boat pose. So the knees come into the chest lifts. Good. If you can, grab the outsides of your feet and just hug the knees and the chest towards one another. Go ahead, take a deep breath in. And then we'll exhale, slowly lower back down to that low boat pose so the legs extend long. Once the lower back comes to the floor, you don't have to lower anymore. Pause there, breathe in. And if you can, exhale, lifting right back up. And let's relax. Good. Okay. Find a blanket. Let's actually use 2 blankets for this. So you're going to roll up one blanket and then roll that into another one so that you have a very thick roll. Okay. So from here, you're going to place your shoulders on the roll. And your head can soften back. If your head comes to the floor really easily, there's no need to place anything underneath the head. If it comes to the floor with some strain, then place a block under the head. Make sure that the head feels supported. And if you try this with the blankets and you feel like you could use even more of a lift, then you could take a third blanket and roll it up, or you could place the blanket on top of a block. Good. So we're starting with the blanket a little bit more up on the shoulder. So it's more on the actual shoulder joint right now. That's it. Then we're going to take the palms together in front of the face and bring the fingertips down towards the floor. So your elbows are very bent. That's it. Now start to slide the fingertips towards the back wall to lengthen the elbows. And try to keep the elbows a little bit more narrow than your shoulders so you can keep hugging the elbows in. Good. If the head is hanging there, just really feel the weight of the skull dropping down from the jaw, relaxing in your mouth. Okay, start to bend your elbows. Bring your hands so they're right back behind the head. And now you're going to scooch so that the blankets are more underneath your chest. And then from there, supporting the head with the hands, start to let the head drop back. If you need the block still for your head, that's fine. Just keeping the block there. The elbows are wide. And then again, we start to observe where it's very easy to relax. And usually that area of the body isn't really too chatty. And we start to observe then where it's harder for us to relax, which might be more obvious. Okay, now release the hands from the back of the head and rest the head either on the floor or on a block, whatever you have it on. Now extend your arms straight up for the ceiling. That's it. And turn your palms so they face the front of the room. Okay. So you're going to bend the elbows so that the fingertips start to reach towards the back wall. And your elbows are going to try to stay very close together. That's it. Now keep moving in that direction until your fingertips find the floor. So we're planting the hands as if we're going to move up into Urdhva Dhanurasana, full wheel. So your hands would be kind of alongside the ears. And so for some of this, it's just hard for us to get our hands here, to get our wrists in this position. That's kind of why we're just doing it here on the bolster. So your fingertips are facing the feet. You notice what's going on with the elbows. If they're really wide, try to draw the elbows together. See if you can root down with the thumb mound. And then if you have a really good grip into the floor, you can just start to gently push a little bit of weight into your hands and just feel your chest kind of pulse up and drop down. It might be easier if you bend your knees, if your legs are long. Good. And then once you've had enough of that, just relax. Good. So you're going to slowly lift up, and we're going to slide the bolster so that it's underneath the sacrum area. So you can roll off to one side and do that, or you can kind of scooch the blanket down. Good. So it's not so much on the soft part of the lower back. It's going to be a little bit farther down. Like supported bridge, but with a blanket. So we're going to extend the left leg all the way long, and then bring the right knee in towards the chest. So you just have a very small lift of the hips. Good. As you bring the right knee towards the chest, keep the left leg hanging. Good. If you don't quite feel the stretch through your left quadricep and your hip flexor area, and you'd like it to be a little deeper, feel free to put blocks under your sacrum instead of the blanket. Good. And then let's take the hands so they're on the back of the knee or down by the hamstring. Keep drawing the thigh towards the chest and very slowly begin to lengthen the right knee. Don't feel like you need to straighten it all the way. Just go slowly. It can still stay quite bent here. So you want to keep just as much attention on your bottom leg, on the left leg, reaching out. Good. Take one more deep breath in here. And then exhale, rest the right foot to the floor. Draw your left knee in towards the chest. And extend the right leg long. Good. Just pausing here with the knee into the chest. Seeing what's very busy and active about the pose. Is it some thinking that's going on in the mind? Seeing how can you make the pose a little bit more quiet. Good. The hands can come to the back of the thigh. Maybe letting the eyes close. And slowly start to lengthen the left leg, starting to flex the foot, reaching up through the heel. Now, if you lengthen your left leg so much that your bottom leg comes off the floor, then let go of that length a little bit and try to keep the right heel grounded. Stretch the right heel a little bit farther forward on your mat. Good. One more deep breath in. And then slowly releasing that, take both feet down. And then slide the blanket so that they're underneath your legs, so right underneath the thighs. Good, extend the legs long. Good, bring one hand to the chest, one hand to the lower belly. Good. Let the legs flop open so that little toes relax down towards the floor. If there's any other sort of way that you'd like to rest in Shavasana, take a few moments, make sure that your hair isn't in your way, make sure your clothes feel comfortable on you. Good. The hands could stay on the body for kind of a grounding sensation, as a helper to really keep you moving into that parasympathetic place where the breath slows down. Or you can have the arms just alongside the body with the palms facing up. It's kind of giving the shoulders some space to open. resting. And feeling the weight of the body and how it's dropped down towards the back surface of you. And just sensing where in the body it is very quiet, very calm, or still. And maybe from that stillness, you start to notice really small forms of movement. Maybe you feel your pulse in your palms or somewhere around your navel. And you can take your attention to the fingertips, and you might start to feel almost like a little tingling or a cellular movement there. Like very subtle signs of life. Breathing in, feeling the chest and the belly expand. And when you're ready, start to move around, wiggle the fingers and the toes. And without any sense of urgency, roll to your right side. Continuing to let the bones and the muscles stay very heavy. Good. And then eyes can stay closed. Come all the way up to a comfortable seat. Okay, let's take the palms together. May all beings find happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be parted from freedom's true joy. May all beings dwell in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Namaste.
Are you enjoying this podcast? I've chosen to offer these audio recordings freely for over 15 years. I do this because research shows yoga, yoga nidra, and Feldenkrais to be valuable practices, those which I would like to share widely. Dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, has always been a pillar of my business. And more generally, Dana is the inclination to give without expecting any form of repayment. It does, however, take a fair amount of time, effort, and cost to maintain and keep the podcasts available. If you feel you've benefited from what you've learned from these classes, then please do consider making a contribution towards the maintenance and upkeep of the classes. It will help ensure that I can continue to offer the podcast classes freely and keep generating new material. Give what you can, give what feels good. If it's too little, it won't feel good. If it's too much, it won't feel good. Links to support the show monetarily can be found in the show notes. And other ways to give include sharing the podcast with others, leaving a 5-star rating and review, or just sending me an email with how the classes have affected you. Thanks so much.